What's up, y'all, and welcome back to CountryCast. Today we are going to take a look back and share a pretty wild story from the outlaw days of country music, a moment that surrounds the possum, George Jones, and the outlaw himself, Waylon Jennings. Now, Waylon and George Jones are two of the most iconic figures in country music, not only by way of their singing talents, but also by way of some of the stunts that they have pulled off the stage. And in light of the new series on Showtime, George and Tammy, it really got us wondering about some of those times. Before we get into what went down between the two of them, I just want to say thank you to all of our supporters out there and to the many who returned to the channel but are not yet subscribed. If you could please be so kind and subscribe, as it helps us out so much. Again, thank you to everyone. So, what all happened between Waylon Jennings and George Jones? Jones is an icon, first and foremost, but as we learned through the years, George Jones struggled with alcohol. He gained the nickname No Show Jones due to missing several shows, and of course, the most told story about the time that he took his lawnmower out to the liquor store after his wife took his car keys. But in this event, George Jones ended up punching his good friend Waylon Jennings after a few rounds. In Waylon's autobiography, Waylon, an autobiography, detailed the incident between him and George. It alleged that George Jones showed up to Waylon's house intoxicated, and as described in Waylon's book, he began flailing around the living room and yelling at Jessie Coulter's mother. Waylon did get George to finally calm down. However, as George was sitting on the couch about to fall asleep, Waylon made an attempt to help Jones fall asleep by giving him a drink of whiskey. But that idea backfired, as George gained a second wind and again began destroying things within the home and even threw a picture frame at Waylon, which he missed, and then at that moment the fight was on. Jennings again tried to calm Jones down, but George kicked Waylon right where the sun don't shine. Waylon managed to get on top of George and sit on him, but Jones played possum and started to act like he was choking. So Waylon, of course, got up to make sure he was alright. And when he did, George punched Jennings right in the mouth. Jennings' guitar player was also present, who tried and helped Waylon wrangle Jones, but while he held his feet, he ended up with a broken thumb. Ultimately, Jennings was able to wrangle Jones by tying him up, then laying him out on the couch where he finally calmed down. Waylon also mentioned in his book that he too was struggling through the fight, as he was also coming down and was unsure how much longer he could try and get George under control. Waylon said, "I never felt so bad in my life, thinking here's the greatest country singer that ever lived and I'm tying his ass up." As Waylon was trying to get a hold of George's manager by phone, Jones was still a bit restless and yelled out, "I'll get you, you Conway Twitty actin' son of a bitch." Waylon admitted that he found the remark funny and responded back to George and said, "What do you mean by that? You hit me in the face and you kicked me in the nuts. You cussed the ladies in my house, you break my guitar player's thumb, and now you call me a Conway Twitty acting son of a bitch? I'm the one that's going to do the getting." In the end, Possum did fall asleep and was taken back home. And of course, he and Waylon were good friends and continued their relationship with one another up to Waylon's passing. And by 1999, George Jones got sober. As I mentioned, these two are some of the most well-respected artists in country music and are just absolute icons. Even after all that, Waylon and George remained friends and had one another's back. Country music and its friendships in the business have always been a very special piece of the genre. Guys, we would love to know your thoughts on this down below in the comments, but thank you for tuning in. That will be all from CountryCast.